Have you ever moved a wild ant colony? Many people think this is crazy, especially trying to move stinging ant species such as Myrmica rubra. Well, in this video, I'll show all of you how I moved a 10,000 worker strong colony of Myrmica rubra ants. So, this is how it began. Well, I actually go to this farm group type thing, and we had the job of having to dig a new toilet because the old toilet was full of, and we immediately found a red ant colony under some planks of wood. It was massive. I mean, the colony was the biggest red ant colony I've ever seen. Probably one of the biggest ant colonies I've seen too. So I began moving these planks up, and there was just more and more ants. They must have covered like a 1.5 meter square altogether. I don't have much footage of this because my main instinct was not to film, but to actually help these ants. Because otherwise they'll all die. So we started by moving the planks, which was a pain in the because they were rotting, and they must have been like 10 years old. So it took a long time, and yeah, it was really painful. I was able to move a lot of the planks of wood, but some crumbled, and then ants fell out. We found some queens while trying to get there. And altogether, it was craziness. So, after getting all the planks out, we came to a problem. Our first problem. This is just the beginning of a nightmare. There were ants under this root, and of course I wanted to move each bit of the colony so they'll not be isolated. So I ended up trying to chop the root in half. Remember, this was already over half an hour in. I have not got much footage of this, and I was already pretty tired. Anyway, then I was able to dig up soil, and it was moving the ants in. This was the bit where I felt the most pain of red ant stings I've ever felt. I'm not joking here. Many ants were stinging me, and it was painful. You won't understand unless you've been stung by red ants. Unless you're like living in the Philippines and you've been stung by fire ants, or you've been stung by tetraponera ants. But it's pretty painful. It's not too bad to have one stinging you, but when you have like many, it's painful. Very painful. Anyway, we kind of finished by digging up loads of the ants. And this was quite easy as we just scooped them up with a spade and going under the soil, which ended up leveling the whole area. Perfect for putting a toilet on. Anyway, we came to another problem where we found another colony with queens. We managed to rescue all the queens and put them in the setup. Not the setup, but the pile. Anyway, just before having lunch, I wanted to have another check around, and I found this little straggler queen. I put her on the whole pile with all the other ants. It was pretty cool to find the queen, though. I mean, I would have loved to take her home, but I already have a colony, so that's fine, I guess. So as you can see here, I am just grabbing soil with the ants in them and just chucking across to the pile with all the ants. And yeah, I got stung, but here at this point I think I was getting fast enough. I was kind of getting the hang of it. Yes, but moving a whole ant colony practically just handful by handful just took a long time. I mean, I spent at least 2 hours doing this until I was happy. So yes, a very long time. Things went from bad to worse when I realised I could not dig up the ant colony as they were nested in stone in the ground. And more were here. And of course, this was super stressful. Anyway, I had my lunch and continued. just a pile that had accumulated after all this work. And I still could not dig up the smaller bits of the colony. I found that they actually had queens, which meant that I could just leave them there. So they would actually form their own kind of colony since they have queens. This is what's great about multi-queen colonies such as Myrmica rubra. In the end, the colony survived, and I'm pretty sure the hardy ants will be able to survive. If you enjoyed the video, you can like and subscribe. If you don't want to, then don't, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy ant trails!